universe, media, network, 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 network.
Hello, welcome to the STL REI Girls Podcast, recorded live at Webster Groves Garden Cafe at 117 East Lockwood Avenue in Webster Groves, Missouri. I'm Sandra Holtmeyer. I'm one of your hosts, and we have a special co-host with us today. We'll introduce her in just a second. Today, we're talking to Rachel Schneider of REI Blueprint. Rachel is a real estate investing coach with 30 years of REI experience and has partnered in over 300 real estate-related transactions. So we'll get to her in just a minute. But we have a co-host today. Melanie is out, so I want to introduce Sherry Zinke. So Sherry, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure, thank you. I was in the corporate world for probably over 25 years, and I left that a year ago in March. And in June, I've been friends with Sandra for a very long time, so she suggested I check this out. And in June, I took a class to learn about wholesaling. And since June, I started doing that and have done pretty well. I would say
she's a rock star. She's done great.
I've wholesaled 6. Just finished my first rehab. We close on Monday. Small
awesome.
one. Bought my first rental. And I have another house that I've rented back for a month. So that's so I think in total I'm at 10 deals.
In like less than 10 months, 10 months? Yeah,
since June I started. So I started in June learning it, and I guess my first deal was in August. So
wow.
Yeah. So
congratulations. That's
fun.
awesome.
I know, isn't that great?
That's so good.
Fun.
Yeah.
Well, the focus of our podcast is focusing on women and empowering women, and I'm glad Cheryl's here today, and you guys will get to hear more of her story in another episode, but I just want everyone to know you really can do this. I mean, she is a perfect example of you can jump in and completely transform your life, replace your current income in a matter of months.
Yes.
So take some motivation and gumption, which Cheryl has, but anybody can do this. So thank you for being here with us today. Thank you both.
Yes, thank you.
So, Rachel, welcome again. Thanks for being on the show. Tell us a little bit about your personal life and what you do. And we have several questions for you, but you can start off with that.
Yeah, well, I have been in real estate investing not 30 years. That's aging me a little bit. They must have messed that up. But I have been in real estate investing since 2010. Prior to that, I had a mortgage background, so I've always really kind of been in this world, just on different sides of it. I am a mom of 4. They're kind of divided, so I have 2 older kids that are out of the house, 2 younger kids that are still at home. And for me, real estate investing has been that perfect business, because if you'd ask my 9-year-old, she'd tell you that I'm a stay-at-home mom, but then I'm also a lady boss, which I think is great. But she's like, you take me to school, you pick me up, you're at every party, every field trip, and it's so cool. Like, my kids are my why. That is why I do everything that I do, and so it's awesome to have her have that mindset around it. But yet I run and operate several different businesses, but I have that freedom, which I think is what we're all really kind of looking for. Mm-hmm. The money's nice, but the freedom is what's really amazing.
Absolutely.
So great.
Yeah. I love it.
Thank you.
So what appealed to you most about working in the current industry?
I came from a different place than most. My business partner and I were in the mortgage industry, and we went through that huge crash when our economy really fell, and we stayed afloat for a really long time. It got down, and there were like over 3,000 mortgage brokerages in the state of Missouri when we were in that business, and by the time after the crash, there were about 300 of them. So just to kind of show you the impact that had on that industry. And so we were just losing money like crazy, to the point that we lost everything. And I got into real estate investing almost from a point of desperation, because we had to reinvent ourselves. And with that mortgage background, there was a free event being hosted in town, the only time this event's ever been free, that was on short sales. And that really kind of lined up with my underwriter background. And we went to that event, and we took that blueprint and absolutely crushed it. Our next year in real estate, we did 2011. We did 111 houses.
Wow.
So we were digging ourselves out of a huge hole, though, right? You know, so I got into it for a much different reason than I think most people do. But I've stuck with it because of the freedoms that it allows, for sure.
So, did you have any support when you started? Was it just you, or was it?
Well, I have a business partner, Jason Roberts. We've been in business together for decades. And when we first started, we started that together, and then we did have a mentor, a local mentor here, Sean, actually. And that was huge, and I think getting connected and involved in a community is what's really key, because you can be driven and you can have all the right characteristics that will lead you to success, but the thing I see, they don't know what to do next, right?
Right.
Every deal's different. Every deal's unique. You're going to learn. That's what I love about this business, is we're always learning something new, and most people aren't fortunate to have a business partner, and so you can feel kind of alone, kind of like you're on an island. And when you get tapped into that community, it gives you somebody to be able to bounce things off of and just give you a little reassurance, so you don't feel like you're in it all by yourself, I think.
Yeah, I think that's really important.
So what type of deal was your first, and how did it go?
Short sale was my very first. So this is taking pre-foreclosure marketing and them being in a situation where there's, at this time, so we're talking 2000 into 2010, 2011, everybody's losing their homes. Our economy is not good. And so now short sales might look a little bit different, but then our market had fallen so far down, and it had been really kind of overinflated for quite some time. And so these homes were no longer worth what they once were. Now they've fallen behind on their mortgage. They don't have this option to just list it on the market and sell it. They need their mortgage reduced. Someone needs to purchase it. Some of them needed repairs. So my very first deal was a monster deal. One I wish I would have held on to, right? But it was a 4-unit down in the city. And it was 5 units. 3 of the units were rented. 2 were vacant. One of the vacant ones was the largest one, and it needed a rehab. Well, we were flat broke when we got into this. We had no resources, no money. And so the only thing that we could do was flip this. So we bought this 5-unit property for $67,000, I believe. And we had a contract before we closed on that property for right at $175,000. So it was an awesome first deal to do, right?
Nice it really, infusion of cash.
It was really nice. It was definitely needed at the time. And then from there, we just took that pipeline. We reinvested that back into the business because we were doing all of our marketing. We were handwriting letters and envelopes and all of those. I call it the hustle period, right? That we all need to experience when we first get started. We were doing all of those things. And so it was nice to take that money, put it back in the business, and get a little help,
Yeah, certainly.
Yeah.
Wow,
that's exciting.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to absorb what she just said. That's a big number.
Yeah, that way it was a good deal. It was a really, and I think now, man, if we would have held that would have been a nice property also. Yeah. So that's really my only regret with any of the deals we've done. That would have been a nice one to hold on to.
But sometimes you just need that cash
You needed
flow.
it. Yeah.
So I've done it. I mean, we think we all have or will. So
yes.
You make those decisions.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I was going to ask you what your first big success was right after starting, but it sounds like you just...
That first one was a good one, yeah.
Yeah.
It was a real good one.
Yeah.
So what is your favorite type of investment deal?
Today I like to be this financial investor into the deal and not be as involved, because I have a coaching and education business that's around real estate, which is really my primary focus, because I felt like there was such a need for that. So that's what I currently like, but short sales really carry a special place for me. It's how I got started. It has such a bad reputation, but I like to help. I like to serve. I think you get into it for the money sometimes in real estate investing, but it quickly becomes about something more than that. Every single real estate transaction I've ever done, we have truly and genuinely helped those people out.
Yeah.
And I love everything about that.
Yeah.
And with short sales, I've heard people say, well, think of the person you're dealing with. Well, the person I'm dealing with is someone who had a sick partner or sick children, or went from a 2-income household to 0 or to 1. They've had some really tragic things that's just called life. happen to them, and being able to help them, I think it just serves such a bigger purpose. Plus, I have the personality that I really like to negotiate, and so that negotiation with the bank, I really enjoyed that side of it also. Yeah, so that would absolutely be my favorite.
That's cool.
I think you already mentioned part of this, but I think it's really relevant. And one thing I always try to do is tie what we're doing now to what we've done in the past to let people know we've all got a skill set that we can bring to real estate investing or any new business you start, and you may not realize it at the time. So what was your previous experience that was the best asset to your new business? I think you mentioned a little bit of it.
Yeah.
Can you expand on that a little?
Yeah. I mean, I think that I came from a mortgage world, and so I didn't come in not understanding what a settlement statement was. I knew how to read a title report, and if there was something wrong with it. The only real job I've ever had was a bill collector for like a year. And so I also knew how to negotiate things on and off, judgments, partial releases. I understood that side of the business really well, and working with real estate agents and what that would be like. So that was a huge benefit, especially in the short sale industry, because you are working with banks, and I had done that as an underwriter. You are working on any deal with title companies, appraisers, real estate agents. And so I had that under my belt. Although investing really is a different side, I did have that knowledge that I never lost. And so that's been an asset in every deal I've ever done, because I still think I look at things from the bank's point of view or from that due diligence side of things, which has really been an asset.
Yeah, I didn't have that experience at all, but I did have a coach that helped me. So, like you said, you got to get connected, because we all come with different things. So there's other things you didn't have. So
absolutely,
that's good.
So I know you've shared some really cool successes, but do you have a favorite experience in the industry?
Oh, man, a favorite experience. I think one of my favorite experiences is one that happened probably about a year or so ago on a multi-unit that we partnered in the Kansas City area, 22-unit building, and it was actually coaching students of mine, which first deal I ever did with a coaching student. I've been coaching for such a long time, but this just was such a unique property. And we're big on vision, personal and business visions, and really making sure that the business serves your personal life, right? Because we can all have a business that we're successful in and work 12 hours a day, right? You're not mastering anything in that situation, but really creating something that serves something bigger than that and serves your lifestyle, right? And so part of their vision, we do this now exercise with our kids too, and their daughter had a vision that she wanted to have a place for people that were homeless or transitioning back into like the workforce, or from jail, or just from unfortunate circumstances, and getting kind of rehabilitated and back out into our society. And so we found this 22-unit building, and then we were able to work with a non-for-profit in the area that does just that. Wow. And so we secured that. And so it was so cool to see, like, what a lesson for their daughter to see that the power of knowing what you want, writing it down, and she couldn't go out and secure financing or the deal, right? But we were able to do that for her and be a part of making it. I think that that's a life lesson for her that will serve her for the rest of her life, right? That if you work hard enough and you're determined and you stay consistent, all of your dreams are possible, and that's one thing that I personally try to live by. Like, at my boot camps, you will see my kids, because I want them to see me at the front of a room, being a female, being a minority, in a kind of male-dominated, speaking arena. And there's almost 200 people here, right? And them seeing, like, we say you can be whatever you want to be. I want to really show you how you can be whatever you want to be. So that deal, sorry, I got sidetracked there, but that deal, doing that for their daughter, that's the coolest real estate transaction I've ever been a part of, ever.
That is great.
Yes,
I love
so
that.
cool. And we did, cool thing about that, just side note, but we did a master lease on it. So we have one tenant. The non-for-profit has 22, right? And so it's a really good deal.
Things.
Yeah.
Right.
From the business side, it's like the ideal way to kind of own a property like that, because